Hello everyone, this is Phil back again with a very special deck review. This is a prototype deck I just received in the mail from PDCmagic, aka Phil DaCosta, who had basically created this deck for Kickstarter, and this was like last year, late last year, whenever it was, I don't remember exactly. It's been a while, and sadly it was never funded, didn't get quite enough support. But he never gave up and he went to the end. And I do believe there is plans to redo it in the future. But this is the prototype he sent me. I don't know if this is an updated version. I don't think it is. I think he is making changes. This looks like it's the original version. The box is very minimalist as you can get. There's nothing on it. The front, you do see a maple leaf, which is cut out. And there is a red cellophane, which I'll show you better in a minute, in behind it, creating a maple leaf, a red maple leaf, just like the Canadian flag, which is pretty cool. And it's a nice, dark, deep reddish colored box, almost like a matte finish. And there's nothing on the sides, bottom, top, or the back. Not a big deal, it's just a prototype, or on the flap, or inside the flaps, or inside the box. Well, I didn't check inside the box, but you can see it is just a red window. Pretty cool. I think these might have been printed by MPC, MakePlayingCards.com, but I'm not entirely sure. Inside, you do get this card that says "Oh Canada," and it's got the Canadian flag kind of in the background. And it has a couple of sentences from the Canadian national anthem. Flip it over, you get the same thing en français, which is good. And then you get this card, which says Magician Info, and it has links to all the websites of the different magicians that are featured on the quote cards. And it also has Spade Heart Club Diamond pips. And says a huge thank you to everyone who believed in me and in this project, and to everyone who pushed me to get this deck produced. A special thank you to all the talent featured in this deck of cards. Without you, Magic wouldn't be where it is today. And it includes Bill Abbott, Juliana Chen, Philip DaCosta, Julie Eng, Celeste Evans, Son Farquhar, Greg Fruin, Jason Poulter, and Richard Sanders. And it has links to all their websites. Then on the back, you see the back design. Very Canadian, lots of maple leaves. Borders are fairly thin. And it looks cool, lots of red and white. Canadian colors all over it, Canadian symbol, maple leaf all over it. I like it. And he had a few different mock-ups, but it's the one he chose to go with, which is cool. He could have done something a little more minimalist, which would have also been cool, but it would have been probably seen as a rip-off of Scarlet Rounders or something. And then we get to the Ace of Spades. All the aces have an A instead of, well, an A in the corners, because that's how Canadians talk. Canadians go A all the time. The Ace of Spades is a maple leaf, and it says Canadiana. And again, he replaced the A in Canadian with an A. Pretty cool. By the way, these cards do have an embossed linen type finish in his prototype deck. All the aces, like I said, they say A in the corner, which is cool. Fairly standard pips from whoever produced these cards. Although they do have bigger pips on the aces than the rest of the cards, which is cool. Quote cards are pretty interesting. The spade quote cards, and one thing you will notice may have noticed, is, well, I'll show you again in a bit, was the colors of the suits. The quote cards are pretty interesting. For the spades, it features Canadian sports. I believe that's lacrosse. Obviously hockey, women's hockey at that, because we kick ass in that. We kick ass in all hockey. And basketball, because we invented it. Well, Canadian invented it. which is pretty cool. And then we get onto the court cards. The other court cards, the Magician court cards. This one is Phil himself, Phil DaCosta, the designer, and it has his name along the top here. All of them have the name along the top. And he is holding, I just noticed that he is holding a reveal in his hand. It's an Ace of Spades reveal, which is pretty cool. Might be a little hard to see, but there it is. I just noticed that myself. It's cool. This one is Juliana Chen, I should say, not Cheng. My bad. Celeste Evans holding a dove. Julie Eng. Richard Sanders, and he's holding the rope, and they're all holding different props. One thing I would say is that it would be nice if there was actual pips in the corners like a standard card, because it just seems a little bit blank. But not a big deal. And then here we got Bill Abbott along with his buddy Chico. That's kind of cool. Then we got Jason Palter with a banana and some cards. Son Farquhar holding his FISM trophy because he is a world champion of card magic 2 times, I think. So that's pretty cool. And then there is Greg Fruin holding a parrot. Pip orientations, there is some customizations. There you see the pips. What I was going to say before is Hearts and Diamonds have a reddish color. Clubs and Spades have a darker color, almost a purple color, which is pretty cool. And they're Canadian colors for sure, so why not? And you can definitely distinguish between the 2 colors. As you can see, all the spades have maple leaves for a pip. And as you can see, there is some slightly different orientations of the pips, which is cool. That looks really cool. So that's the deck. That's what you get, or well, what I got anyways. If you want to get this, we'll have to get another campaign going, and you'll have to support it. They handle good though. Being a prototype deck, you don't always get that. And like I said, I think they make playingcards.com. Well, I'm not entirely sure. Special thanks, like I was saying, to Phil for sending me this. I've been wanting it for a while, being that I'm Canadian, and I don't really have any decks that are Canadian in my collection, so I'm glad to have this one in my collection. It's awesome. I hope one day we do see a Canadiana deck created. I do believe if there is one created, it's not going to feature the same court cards. And it's going to be a little bit different. That's what I heard anyways. But we'll see. One thing that would have been cool though is if we had Ekaterina on the court card. She's a well-known Canadian Russian cardist and enforcer. But unfortunately she declined the opportunity, which is too bad, but whatever. We don't need it. Anyways, that's what we got. Hope you like it. I will see you next time.